So what are roadblocks and business rules? Today we're going to be talking about the most common roadblocks to successful claim recovery. We're also going to explain what a business rule is and how you can use these business rules to overcome the roadblocks and recover your freight claims efficiently and effectively. So let's get into some of these roadblocks. A roadblock is any issue or situation that could result in the delay or declination of your claims. So we're going to go through the 10 most frequent roadblocks we've seen in our 20 years of managing claims. First, a lack of experience. Filing and managing claims is not just a clerical task. If you don't know which documentation to provide or what you're entitled to under the law, then you're not going to be in a position to recover everything you're owed. You also won't be effective if you just don't have the time to collect the evidence or follow up with carriers, or if you don't have policies that tell receiving staff how they need to mark the delivery receipt with an exception. That can make claims very difficult to file later. We also see many clients that have put themselves at a disadvantage due to lack of negotiation. So before there's even an instance of loss or damage, the carrier has already limited the liability in the carrier's rules tariff. You don't need to accept this, and we can help you negotiate the liability terms that benefit you. So moving through these roadblocks, another roadblock you'll run into if you're filing claims with insufficient documentation or photos, and of course this is related to the earlier issues. If you don't have the time to collect the documentation, or if your staff don't know what they're doing, then you might spin your wheels submitting claims without all the evidence that you need to be successful. Okay, so continuing along here, another roadblock we see claimants run into is if they throw out the original packaging material. If that's not available at the time of inspection, that's going to make it more difficult to defend your claim. Or if you repair the product and start using it before the inspection is made, this is a little counterintuitive, but by making the repair, you've effectively destroyed the evidence of damage. Of course, the same thing is true if you destroy the product entirely, then that also destroys the evidence of damage. Another issue is if the product simply doesn't have sufficient packaging, or if it's packaged improperly, then the carrier will argue that they're not responsible. So these roadblocks need to be addressed in order to achieve a higher rate of recovery and fewer declinations, and at CDS we can help with that. Now let's talk about business rules and how they can help in your claim recovery process. A business rule is a simple procedure that guides your actions. It might also contain an if-then clause. So if you encounter a particular situation with a carrier or claim, then you implement a certain action. So let's look at a couple sample business rules. In our first example, if a claim is open for longer than 120 days and the carrier is not responding, then it's time to implement an acceleration process with the management team. Or, in a second example, if the claim is over $5,000 and it's not resolved within 100 days, then it's time to contact the management team and accelerate the process. So this is similar to the first rule, but you do it a little sooner for higher value claims. In the third example, this rule ensures that every claim you file has all the necessary documentation, and if you don't have it, you're going to contact the people who can get it to you, and you just file a letter of intent to file a claim with the carrier in the meantime. The letter of intent will serve as a placeholder until you can get all the necessary documents. So here we have some other key business rules that you should definitely be using when you file your claims. So let's continue through them. So first, a really common mistake claimants make in the receiving department is that they'll accept a shipment, they'll see an issue, or maybe they'll just see some cartons that look suspect, and so they'll sign the bill of lading as subject to inspection. But listen, this is not going to fly if you're trying to file a claim later. The delivery receipt needs to be signed with damaged or short and a short explanation. The more details, the better. And the driver needs to sign the delivery receipt and acknowledge the exception. If they don't, it's as if the carrier wasn't notified. So next, let's look at how to deal with a damaged product. You must keep all of the damaged freight and packaging until you're notified by domestic logistics. If you're dealing with damaged product, move it to quality control and wait for further directions from the logistics department. This is the same with the packaging. All this needs to be kept in its original state for inspection. And our next business rule follows from that. The carrier needs to be notified of the damages as soon as possible to give them a chance to schedule an inspection. But don't worry. If the carrier doesn't respond to your request for inspection, you're not going to have to store the damaged product forever. If the carrier doesn't make an inspection within 5 business days, you can do a self-inspection and they can't hold that against you when you file the claim. And our final business rule tells you how quickly to file a claim. You should file your claim as soon as you can, but the actual deadline is within 9 months of the loss or damage. If the shipment was lost, then the deadline is within 9 months of the expected delivery date. Now, if you're dealing with very small claim values, for example, less than $100, then you should write it off instead of filing a claim, although there is an exception to this, which I'll get to in a minute. So that should give you some really solid tips that you can take home and start implementing right away in all of your claim filing. But if you want to take things to the next level, then at CDS we have some additional programs that we've used to recover $15 million for our clients in the last 3 years alone. So let's talk about some of these programs that we have to help you. So if you like the business rules that we've laid out here in this presentation, this is actually just a sneak peek at the full list of processes and business rules that we use every day to help our clients maximize their freight claim recovery. We cover all of them in our intensive training program, our Freight Claim Assistance Program. So in this program, we give you procedures and business rules for every single department involved in claims. We give you dozens of forms and checklists to streamline filing. So, for example, if there's damage, we have a checklist where the receiving department can just go through the list and check off any of the damage that's present. Or, if you need to do an inspection yourself because the carrier hasn't sent someone, we have a form for that too. So you don't need to think of all the steps, you don't need your staff to remember everything involved. All they have to do is pull out the appropriate form and fill it out. And then at some point, you're going to have to deal with carriers who decline your claim, and that can be difficult. So another thing that we give you is a full list of pre-written responses to every reason the carrier might give for declining your claim, whether that's poor packaging or limits of liability or any other reason. And our responses are all backed up with legal precedents so the carrier can see right away. If they push this, they're not going to win in court. And once they see that, generally they'll give in and pay your claim. So you don't have to come up with any of those arguments, you don't have to write any of those emails. All you have to do is look up the reason, find the response, and send it off. And we have a very high recovery rate using these arguments. So we have so much in this program, so I'm not going to go through it all here. But if you do want to get all of the details, or if you just have a few questions, just contact us and we'll answer any of your questions or we'll set up a proper demo for you. Because part of the program is actually customized to training you on whatever claim scenarios are most important to your business. But overall, we give you the same training and tools that we use to train our own staff, the same system that has allowed us to recover $15 million in claims in just the last 3 years. So that's our training program. Next up, earlier we were talking about how claims for less than $100 should be written off. However, if these are small parcel claims and you're writing off the $100 value, you should actually contact us about that, because we have this amazing program, our small parcel profit sharing program, where we file all those little $100 claims for you. We don't charge you any fees, we just share in the recoveries once the carrier pays you. So if we're not bringing in payment from these claims, you don't pay us anything at all. It's purely commission based. So we'll do all the work with the filing, all the work with the follow-up, and we've actually recovered hundreds of thousands of dollars for our clients. It's crazy. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in recoveries just through these little $100 claims that add up. So if you're dealing with small parcel claims, if you have a lot of them, definitely contact us so you can take full advantage of this program. And then the final tool we have for you is this really essential tool. It's a piece of software called My Easy Claim. This software lets you automate all of your claim tasks. So for example, if you need to follow up with a carrier because they haven't responded, you can set follow-up reminders to send automatically every 30 days. You can also save your carrier or shipper's contact information in the system and then automatically populate the claim forms with their contact information instead of filling them out manually each time. My Easy Claim also has some fantastic reporting functions that you can use to analyze your claims and figure out how to prevent loss and damage from happening in the first place. It's very powerful software. We use it with all of our clients. So if you want to see how My Easy Claim works, or if you want to see how we use it as part of the Freight Claim Assistance training program, just email us or call us to schedule a demo. So that gives you a summary of a few of our programs. If you do have any questions or you'd like to schedule a demo, please contact either Dick or Joe. Either of them will be more than happy to help you.